Throughout the years, we've been hard at work, established 6 campuses throughout the country, garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni, received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements. Tear down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here.
Hello and good morning. Welcome back to day 2 of the Chat with Segi series. My name is CY and I'm your moderator today. We have a lineup of exciting talks, specially curated for you. So if you're a school leaver or even if you're a parent with children who are supposed to be enrolled into a college or a university this year, you have come to the right place. And this morning, we are going to start off with our Dean from Faculty of Business and Accountancy, Dr. Stephen. Before I introduce Dr. Stephen, let's talk about the topic today. The topic is, can lecturers teach business? And this morning when I met with Dr. Stephen, he was saying, wow, what a topic. Sounds a bit controversy, but this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some real things that's happening in the education industry. We're going to talk about a little bit about our views on how to how business programs is supposed to be conducted a little bit differently in view of the market changes and stuff like that. And yeah, so without further ado, let me introduce to you Dr. Stephen Sasaya, our Dean from Faculty of Business and Accountancy. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. I'm Dr. Stephen Sasaya. I've been in the industry long enough to basically know what is required and why are we here. And I'm very passionate about making sure our students have the best learning experience.
And our students love you.
Yeah. I mean, you can say that.
A bit boastful.
Yes.
For 10 o'clock in the morning session.
Exactly. But I think that's all right. Yes, it's a really great to meet, and discuss about this very interesting topic.
Yes. So the topic today is, can lecturers teach business? When I approached Dr. Stephen and say that this is the topic that we're going to talk about, he is like, wow, doesn't that sound a bit controversial? But is it controversial? Let's find out. You see, the fact is, Dr. Stephen, and to all of our viewers, lecturers generally, not everyone, but generally, they are not business owners. Many of them doesn't have real life business experience of running a business, but maybe they've had some corporate experiences or industry experiences. Now, are they the right and the best person to teach business? Dr. Stephen, what are your views?
Yep. As far as the business school is concerned, right, for Bachelor of Business, Faculty of Business and Law, we are very passionate about making sure that our students have a very meaningful experience, learning experience, because the 3 years that 3 or 4 years that they're going to be with us can actually dictate how their next 30 or 40 years is going to be. We emphasize that to the students.
Yeah.
Now, to make sure that they have the best learning experience, I feel it is very important that different stakeholders have to play an important role. So, at our faculty, we feel that you need two important stakeholders. One will be the lecturers, and the other is the industry. Lecturers play a very important role in making sure that our students have the basic foundation.
Right.
That's very important because this can be very useful later on when they go on to face the industry. Having good, strong foundation about basic principles of business. We are talking about theories and concepts and all that. If they have strong foundation, is very important, especially when it comes to a program like business. Why I'm saying that is, unlike any other specific profession where they may have specific qualification to come in, when it comes to business, you may actually have students from various backgrounds.
Yeah.
They could have different qualifications.
Yes.
They'll be coming into business. So
Yeah.
it's very important for them to have a very strong foundation
Yes.
on the basic concepts as such. Now, moving on to the next important stakeholder. So once they are, the students are given very good foundation, then they move on to the next stakeholder who's going to be a very, very important role. Now, we believe that we are preparing students to go on to take on the business world. That's how we look at it. We want them to be ready when they go out there. So if they're going to go out and take over the, face the industry, industry definitely becomes a very important stakeholder. So we engage with the industry at various stages, from the day we develop the program right until our students graduate and they move on to the industry. How does it actually work? Even before we develop our programs, we get the input from the industry. We conduct surveys. Okay, we conduct surveys to get feedback, input from the industry. Then the lecturers work with us, okay, in developing the programs, which is very important. That's the stage number one. The second part of it is just coming up with a program alone is not enough. It's very important to keep reviewing the program to make sure that the programs are up to date. As time goes on, every few years we do review of the programs. Again, we get the industry involved. We consult the industry. In fact, we appoint industry experts as part of our committee, get their input. Then we focus on reviewing the program.
Right. And what you're saying is, when students come to SEGI, the program that they are going through does not only come from academics, it's not only designed by academics, but it is also designed hand in hand with the industry.
With the industry, yes. That's very important because we don't want students to learn about outdated things when they go out to the industry. They have to be up to date, latest what is happening. So that's the second part of it. The third part of it is even more interesting. When we talk about delivery, how do we deliver our programs? Now, the most common way people involve industry is maybe through talks.
Yeah.
Maybe through industry visits. We do that as well.
Yeah.
But we don't just rely on that. We go one step further. We actually go one step further. We bring the industry into the class.
Right.
Which I feel is very important because when we bring the industry into the class, we are allowing the students to engage with the industry way before they actually graduate and start looking for a job. Okay, how do we do this? It's very simple. We have a list of top-notch companies who are our corporate value partners. We invite them to come in. they become part of our assessments as such. For example, one of the subjects is say marketing. Okay, for marketing subjects, a company may want to do a research. They may want to improve on their product. They may want to know certain input on how well the product is doing. Instead of they going ahead and hiring people, they come and work with us. They actually come and present it to the students, come up with questions. These are the things that we want. And what happens is our students will work on this, and they are given a certain duration, maybe a month or 2 months or so. And end of the day, this is the most interesting part, because end of the day, the industry people will come to our actual classes, and our students will actually present to the industry. Can you imagine the kind of exposure the students are going to get?
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Exactly.
Because students really enjoy these kind of things, because there they are facing representative from the top companies. I'm seriously talking about the top companies. We are talking about companies like Sony and so on, coming there and listening to our students and giving their feedback.
Just a few days ago, I was having a conversation with Miss Ling, our new principal in Segi College, Kota Damansara, and she was saying our students are presenting to top executives from companies, and some of their marketing people that came in told us that, hey, working in the company for 2-3 years, I have never even presented to my boss before, and here your students are presenting to my big bosses.
Yes, that's really unbelievable. If you ask me, students enjoy it because they actually get feedback from the top executives, and end of the day, you'll never know, because if they are impressed, this is a good opportunity for the students. They could be picked up, as time goes on, which means we are not waiting for the students to graduate for them to find placement. We are giving them an opportunity to engage way before that.
And I think that's very important. I'm just thinking back to my uni days. I think generally, like you have said, universities and colleges, when they talk about engagement with the industry, generally what they do is they will bring people in from the industry to give some guest lectures, or they will take you out on field trips. And some people, maybe they would help you with your internship, so they will do internship placement, which by the way Segi does as well. But the fact is, let's talk about internship, right? The fact is, when students go from a university or a college environment into the corporate world to start their internship, right, many of them have this culture shock where, in a working environment, I don't know how to perform. But as much as we want to believe that it's a learning experience for them, it's also very high pressure. Because when they go out into the world, they need to perform. And the idea of an internship is so that, they could impress their employers and then hopefully get a job. But when we do this industry into the classroom effort throughout their studies, it gives them a very safe and guided environment throughout their 2-3 years of their studies to work with the lecturer to get the academic know-how, to get the foundation right through. And at the same time, with industry input and the nurturing that comes from the industry, it really makes a difference, doesn't it?
Definitely. Because, for example, when it comes to internship, chances are, if you go into a company, you could be put in a specific department, and that's about it. You don't really get to learn about the whole company as such.
It comes back to exposure.
Exposure. So when we bring the industry into the class, remember, we are not just bringing them for one particular subject. Different subjects. We could bring them, and that actually exposes the student to the real life situation, and they're facing the top corporate leaders, and end of the day, they get assessed from it by them. And once the results are out, if they are really impressed, then it can, end of the day, it can benefit the students.
Exactly.
It opens up a different world to them, actually.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stephen. The next question that I have for you may be a little bit difficult, and it goes like this. So business degrees and business diplomas are very common. Almost every university does it, or almost every college does it. How, apart from industry into the classroom, what else is Segi doing that makes Segi stand out?
As I mentioned earlier, we are very committed in making sure that the students have a meaningful learning experience. So it is not just about classroom activities or even industry. We get them involved in other activities as well. We organize social activities, we organize cultural activities. We also make sure that they're involved in helping out the community. For example, I can just give you an example. We received an SOS call from a school in a rural area asking us that can you guys help us with books? We have poor kids who need the books, and immediately we had a meeting with the students, and then we had clubs who are very active in it. We gathered information, we worked together, and within a week we managed to raise enough fund to go out there. And in fact, next Friday we will actually be traveling all the way to this rural school, and we'll be distributing the books.
That's amazing.
Yeah, these kind of things we are looking at. We want to create all rounders. It's not just about business, profession, and making money or anything like that. It is about how can you contribute to the society as well.
So talking about being an all-rounder and how we mold our students to be all-rounders and to be able to scramble and do wonderful things in a short period of time. Let's talk about the future traits, the traits of future business leaders. What do you think they are, and how is Sergey grooming our students to be one?
When we talk about future leaders, obviously we are talking about how are you going to deal with the new generation of workforce. That becomes a very important point. How are we going to deal with it, deal with them, and definitely things like being a leader in emotional intelligence, for example, very important. How are you going to deal with the younger generation? I feel is very important, because we keep reading about young people having mental this thing and all those they're finding it difficult to face the challenges. So this is very important, I feel. So when it comes to dealing with these young people, you must be able to deal with them the right way. If you use the wrong approach, if you actually were to use the wrong approach, maybe the old approach or whatever, it may not work. And another trait I feel young people or leaders of the future must have is, of course, their idea to innovation, coming up with new things. If you do not come up with new things to improve, then it's
You'll
very
be obsolete.
Yeah, you will be absolute. And if you ask me, we as an institution are moving forward, and we are changing, and students can see that as well. Every now and then we are bringing in new things, which is I think that is good enough to give an indicator to the students that this is how things should be. We must keep moving with the latest technology and so on.
Indeed. So the two traits here are emotional intelligence, and at the same time the ability to innovate and do new things. Right. Dr. Stephen, I have one final question for you. That is from our audience, and that is, say if I'm an SPM leaver, or if I'm a school leaver, or if I'm a parent to a student who's supposed to be choosing an institution to pursue business, what should they look out for in a business school, in your opinion?
As far as the business school is concerned, like I said earlier, it is about learning experience, and end of the day, finding a job, getting the best out of that institution during the 3 or 4 years. Yes, and as I explained earlier, we will definitely be the right choice to come in. If students were to come in, we will make sure that they go through a very good learning experience, and we are passionate. We have, for example, in Fabal, I can tell you that we have passionate lecturers, and nowadays it's quite easy to find out how passionate the lecturers involved in an institution. Go social media, look at the activities they carry out, and that will give you an indicator as to the kind of college life they're going through.
Indeed.
And we are definitely very certain that we will be able to provide the best for the students. So I think that is one of the main things. It's not just about what kind of results you have and how you're going to end up after that. It's more about the learning experience.
Yeah, and I like how you put it earlier. You said meaningful learning experience. That's very important.
Yes, that's very important because it builds character. As I said, students, we emphasize this to the students as well. I'm sure parents will be proud of it because we tell the students, look here, how your next 3 years or 4 years goes can actually be an indicator as to how your next 30 years or 40 years is going to be, because whatever experience that you gain, the knowledge that you gain can be very, very useful later on we move on to the industry as such. So that is why we feel that learning experience, the focus is always on the meaningful learning experience. So
yeah. Thank you, Dr. Stephen. So to all of our viewers out there, to do a summary, if I were to do a summary of today's session, the topic is, can lecturers teach business? And I think from Dr. Stephen's input, you will know that, of course, lecturers are one of the best parties to teach business. It is proven. But on top of that, you need to ask yourself a better question, and that is, if I were to enroll in a university, other than lecturers, who else is involved in my learning? And in SEGI, another stakeholders that we engage very heavily is the industry.
Yes.
And it takes two to tango, people say, right?
Exactly.
Academicians,
very important role to play, both sides.
And industry.
Yes.
So before we end today, Dr. Stephen, any final messages to students out there who are considering to pursue business?
Well, come and join us. I'll make sure that you made the right choice.
So remember this space.
Yes.
When you see him at any of SEGI's road shows or education fairs, which by the way, a lot of them are coming up, grab him and say, Dr. Stephen, I heard, I saw your video online. I need to talk to you about this.
Come join us. We have a very passionate team. That's very important. Every single member in the team very passionate about making sure that you have the best learning experience.
Yes, indeed. And up next, we have someone from Dr. Stephen's team as well, Dr. Sudashini, who's going to talk to us about accounting and finance. And it's going to be really exciting because her topic is going to be fast track to a chartered accountant. Take the faster and safer route. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in. We will come back after the break. And thank you, Dr. Stephen, for joining us.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At SEGI, you'll get to live, learn, and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules, and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives, and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports, and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are. High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At SEGI, you'll get to live, learn, and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules, and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives, and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports, and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are. High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At Segi, you'll get to live, learn and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are.
Throughout the years, we've been hard at work. Established 6 campuses throughout the country. Garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni. Received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements. Tear down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here. Throughout the years, we've been hard at work. Established 6 campuses throughout the country. Garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni. Received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements. Tear down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here. Throughout the years, we've been hard at work, established 6 campuses throughout the country, garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni, received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements. Tear down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here.
Hello and welcome back. This is CY, and together with me in this session is Dr. Suda from the Faculty of Business and Accountancy, and we're going to talk about fast track to becoming a chartered accountant. But before we jump into the topic, let me just welcome you once again to the Chat with Segi series, where we engage the experts that are in Segi University and colleges to talk to you about how to make the right decision in choosing a program that you desire. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Shuda.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Thank you, CY, for giving me this opportunity to talk about what should I do if I want to become a chartered accountant. And I'm sure those of you out there who are watching, you probably have this in mind. What what is the first step into becoming a chartered accountant? Yeah. So I think you've already introduced me.
Yeah.
I'm a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Business, Accounting and Law, and actually I specialize in cost and management accounting. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us this morning. So let's jump right into it. Accounting and finance. I think when students choose accounting or finance, I think their end goal, or I think the starting step of having an amazing accounting and finance career is to become a chartered accountant.
Yes.
That is many students' goals. So can you explain the programs, the accounting and finance programs that SEGI is offering and its pathway for students to eventually become a chartered accountant?
Okay, so I always tell this to anybody who I meet. Even sometimes, even the other day, I was talking to my student's cousin. She's only 16 years old, and the first thing I asked was, "What are you interested in? What do you want to study? What do you like?" So this is the first question I always ask anybody that approaches me. I ask you, "What is your passion? What do you like?" And if you say your passion is to become an accountant, okay, you love numbers, then by all means, there are so many pathways to becoming an accountant. And I think what the Ministry of Higher Education has already done so far is that they have allowed students from different types of background. In fact, you can be a working adult and you can still join into the program. So for example, let's say you only have one credit in your SPM, but you want to become an accountant. I have a student from Penang that I was teaching one of the subjects, and she was telling me, "I want to become an accountant, Miss, what do I do?" So I said, "Okay, you can still become an accountant even though you have one credit. You finish your certificate in business and you join the diploma in accounting program, which the beauty of it is available in all our campuses."
Yeah.
And she's in Penang. So I told her, if you want to come to our Kota Damansara branch or Subang Jaya branch or Kuala Lumpur branch, by all means you can, because we are offering the same program. So you can come in that way, which is 2 years. Then from the diploma in accounting, they can do the Bachelor of Accounting and Finance. They go into the second year.
Right.
So that is one pathway for this particular student. So if you have 3 credits, important, you must have a credit in mathematics. Yeah. So you can join the diploma in accounting program straight. You don't have to do a certificate. 2 years. Some of my diploma in accounting students, what they do is they work. They want to, sometimes they have family obligations, right? So they want to make some money and contribute to the family. So they do work. And some of them, what they do is they want to just continue. They decide, you know what, Miss, I'm going to do it. I want to continue. So they go into the second year of Bachelor of Accounting and Finance. They can do that. But if you have 5 credits in SPM, you can straight go into the foundation in commerce, foundation in business, or foundation in arts, which again is available in all the campuses.
Exactly.
That is what I love, because as I said, CY, I can have a student in Penang or I have a student in Kuching who simply just wants to come to Kuala Lumpur just to experience what is it like in Klang Valley, because they want to work, they want to work right straight away, get a job straight away. So I said, by all means, yes, you can come here and just continue. You may have already done 5 subjects back in your campus in Penang or Subang Jaya or Kuching. You can continue the rest in Kota Damansara. That's
because
great.
it's so integrated.
Yes. So you finish your Bachelor of Accounting and Finance, and after that is doing your professional paper. So the professional paper, for example, Bachelor of Accounting and Finance, our collaboration or partnership with UCLan is we get 9 paper ACCA exemption. But University of Greenwich, which is available in all the colleges, now I like that, because you not only get a 9 paper exemption for ACCA, there's also CIMA, ICAEW and CPA Australia 8 paper exemption. So that is really good, and it is definitely, I would say, a selling point to get students to come and study here.
Because the pathway is so much.
Yes.
Yeah. So speaking of that, right, I think generally for a student who want to pursue accounting and finance and become a chartered accountant eventually, I think in the market there are 2 major ways for you to do it. The first pathway, or a more direct pathway, they would say, is go through an ACCA.
Yes.
Right after XP.
Yes.
Or another way is what SEGI is offering, go through a diploma and then a degree in accounting and finance, or go through a foundation and then a degree in accounting and finance, and eventually use the paper exemptions, go through the paper, sit through your papers, and then eventually become chartered accountant. The destination is the same,
Correct.
but it's two different ways of going about it. What is the difference? What are the differences
Yes.
between these two pathways?
Okay. Sadly, ACCA is really challenging. This is
That's what a lot of students
this is
tell.
what everybody in the industry, I mean, you can ask any chartered accountant or anybody working in the accounting line. If you tell them professional paper, the first thing they'll tell you, it's 100% exam. So when it's 100% exam, you are trained to go for this 100% exam question. So it's more of practicing for a final exam, and the challenge is the questions are degree and master's level. If you look at ACCA, they have, you do your they have applied knowledge first, which is 3 papers. Then you got the second level, which is applied skills, 6 papers. And then the final 4 papers, which is strategic planning. And it's really difficult. And of course, if you ask any student, they will tell you, oh, this paper is the most difficult. No, this paper is the most difficult. So everybody has their own difficult paper. And in fact, even CIMA as well. During my time, CIMA was a killer. Okay, so it was a killer, and the level of failures was pretty high. So if you look at Bachelor of Accounting and Finance, it is a degree qualification, whereas ACCA and other professional qualification, they are professional qualifications. It's not a degree. And the thing about the two is, well, professional qualification is 100% exam, whereas degree, I love degree because you are molding the student to have not just go for exams, but do your assignments. And there's a lot of critical thinking. It's not just applied knowledge here. It's also about critical thinking. So there is a level of progression in terms of, and also the level of difficulty. Okay, so of course by year 3, the level of difficulty is there, but the students are already trained. They are prepared for that level of difficulty. And the assignments, some of the assignments can be 100%, some are the weightage, it could be 40% assignment, 60% exam, but they are well trained. So by year 3, in fact, they go for internship, and I'm very happy to say that our students, when it comes to internship, they do a very good job, and we get very good feedback. In fact, not just one, a few of my students have gone into the Big 4 audit firms as interns, and they were offered jobs right upon graduation.
Wow.
One of them is Kit. I asked him to watch today. Kit,
If you're here, leave a comment below.
Okay, so this is the beauty of it. So again, you finish your Bachelor of Accounting and Finance, you do your balance papers, then you have to have 3 years working experience. Now, most of the students, when they finish the Bachelor of Accounting and Finance, they're actually already working. So to get that 3 years working experience, no issue, very fast. Then you register with Malaysian Institute of Accountants to become a chartered accountant.
So it's actually a safer route, and it's
Yes.
also a more interesting route because you
Yes.
get to learn so many things along the way.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So let's talk about the bachelor's in accounting and
Yes,
finance,
yes.
and let's talk about SEGI. Accounting and finance degree, it is offered almost everywhere.
Yes, you are right.
Every institution, almost every college, almost every university offer some sort of accounting and finance program.
Yes.
What makes SEGI special?
Okay, well, firstly, I'm very proud to say that SEGI has been around since 1977, and our first campus is Kuala Lumpur. In fact, if you're a working adult, you would have known, or you already know that SEGI Kuala Lumpur, very strategic spot right there in the heart of Kuala Lumpur. So we were always known, and we are still known as the university or college that is a leader when it comes to business programs, business accounting programs, till today. Okay, so that is the beauty of it. Now, yes, we offer many different programs, undergraduate and postgraduate, but the beauty of it is that our students are very much involved in the industry. For example, I took my class for an industry visit to one of the factories, and it's not just a simple industry visit where they actually see how for cost and management accounting, you got to see how products are being made, where are the resources from. And in fact, right after the session, they had so many questions that they were asking the production plant officer, and she was like so thrilled with those questions because, like I said, they are trained to fit into the industry. Employability-wise, no issue at all. Another thing is the students are encouraged to join clubs, societies, and they are the project leaders of these events. So they are the ones bringing in the sponsors together with the lecturer in charge, of course. And this gets them to be independent and gets them to work on their presentation skills, marketing pitch, which in fact, actually one of our subjects is entrepreneurship. We have
That's
an
amazing.
entrepreneurship subject, and they really learn from their subject. And from there, I can see them doing a good job when they have these projects that they have to do.
Yeah, speaking of entrepreneurship, I think this is one blind spot that I notice a lot of accounting and finance students tend to overlook. A lot of them think that when it comes to accounting and finance, the money is in getting a job. Let's have an accounting career. But actually, the money is when you have some sort of entrepreneurial skills. You start your accounting business, you start your firm, or if you're working in Big Four, you climb your way up to eventually become a partner, which requires skills like presentation skills, entrepreneurial skills, project management skills, and stuff like that. These are things that a lot of people tend to overlook when they enroll in an accounting and finance program.
But so our students, actually, I have one thing I like about SEGI is we have a good mix of diversity in terms of student ethnicity and race, and from many countries. So I have a few students that they graduated and they went back to their home country and they opened up their own business, import-export business, healthcare, and healthcare in the sense that it was a joint venture with another friend of his who is a pharmacist. Okay, so I like that they are not just looking at being a chartered accountant or working in the finance industry. They are also moving forward. In fact, I actually have a student. She's from China. Her name is Deng Nan. She graduated with a Bachelor of Accounting and Finance, and I thought, okay, she's going to become a chartered accountant. No, she went to the University of Bristol through my recommendation, and she got a Master's in Accounting distinction. And now she was offered PhD to do her PhD in Bristol, University of Bristol, and she's going to do something along this way with accounting, sustainability accounting. So I'm very proud of her, although that she's not looking into getting a job and working straight away and studying and finishing up her ACCA, but she has taken a different route whereby she wants to move into PhD and research. So that's interesting. So our students are, well, not to say everybody wants to become a chartered accountant. There are some who want to be an entrepreneur. Some they want to move into research. So that is
the
beautiful.
sky is the limit, and I think the key word here is think bigger. Don't just think accounting and finance. Don't just think accountants with this program. Think of it as a propelling point, as a starting point to many wonderful things that you can do.
Absolutely, I 100% agree.
Exactly, yes. and I think this leads us very well to the next question that I'm going to ask you, Dr. Sudha. And I think this is something that you are extremely passionate about, because I think you have put on some slides just to talk about this segment, and that is success stories, Dr. Sudha.
Actually, I have a ton of success stories.
Let me put it up. Yes.
Let me see.
So the question here is, please share with us some success stories of your accounting and finance graduates.
So
let's go.
Okay. So CY, when you told me that we were going to have this chat with SEGI session, the first person that came into my mind was Tan Pek Tong, and he's very busy. He's busy at the moment. So I had to reach out to his wife. His wife is also one of our students.
Wow.
You see, they met in class. Sorry, Pek Tong, I said it out. But anyway, so I said, hey, Pek Tong, I want to showcase your success, So Pek Tong was one of those active students in SEGI. In fact, he was the president of the SEGI Alumni Association from 2019 to 2020. He's a chartered accountant, and he's a retail finance manager in Batam, Malaysia. In fact, his batch, there's a few. In fact, we have another student, which is not inside the slide, Ashley Gomez. He is the head of finance in Heineken Malaysia.
Amazing.
And another student, this student is not in the slide, Tommy Chan. He is a senior tax manager in Deloitte now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I think I got a lot more.
See, I told you she was passionate. Moving on. Who else?
Okay, now we just finished International Women's Day, and I was trying to put some female students that have successfully graduated. And I thought of Komati because she called me like about a week ago and told me, she just gave birth to her second child. Then immediately I was thinking, oh my God, yes, Komati, you are a great example of women who are working and you can still have a career. And it's never too late to do her ACCA. And she is already pursuing her ACCA, but it is challenging, having a family, working and studying, but you can do it. You can definitely do it, because I feel that most bosses, they are of course very supportive of their staff pursuing ACCA and becoming a chartered accountant.
Exactly. And I think in the case of being a working professional and studying at the same time and being a mom at the same time, having your boss's support is very important.
Yes.
Having your family support
Yes.
is very important. I think most importantly, having lecturers and academics support,
Correct.
to guide you through that journey is something that is critical. And I think in Segi, that is what we are very passionate about.
Yes, in
as well.
fact, I'm very happy to say that our team of experts in the field in terms of tax, audit, finance, accounting, and myself, management accounting, because we are engaged with the industry, I think our students are very well-rounded, not just education, but also industry-wise. They are, employability, as I said earlier, easy for them to get jobs after they graduate. Yes.
Yeah, and if you have missed Dr. Stephen's session this morning, he spoke about, when it comes to running a business program, accounting and finance included, there are two very important stakeholders that must come together. One is the academics,
Yes.
the other is the industry, and
Yes.
Segi is one of the leading institution in bringing, industry, real life projects into the classroom.
Yes.
More about that when you look at Dr. Stephen's session. But coming back here, success stories, who's next?
Okay, this is my student. I'm supposed to meet her up one of these days. Miss Nurul Hazika. She was one of our students that graduated in 2019. And oh my God, during the lockdown, So I think the lockdown was very challenging for every one of us. And especially if you are a student that is also pursuing ACCA. But I'm glad that, that she is still continuing to pursue her ACCA. In fact, she's in PKF Malaysia, and they specialize in audit, tax, and business advisory. So yeah, I'm actually going to meet her up and ask her about her plan, after this. I mean, because she is really passionate to become a chartered accountant.
And I can see that you are so passionate where, you don't stop at students during their duration of studies. When they finish, you still engage with them.
Yes, I still engage with them. In fact, some of them, I have one student that graduated and he took his SEMA, he finished his SEMA. I actually called him back to Segi. Wong Herming. I didn't tell him that I'm having this session, but Wong Herming, he was our accounting and finance student. He has a SEMA. He's SEMA graduate. His dad was an accountant himself, and he wanted to follow his father's footpath. And yeah, I called him back to talk to the students, really about getting the students to understand after graduating and working, what's next. So he was talking more about the type of skills needed in the industry, the type of software training that you must go for. Yeah.
Thank you. And next,
Miss Chan Imu. Okay, Miss Chan Imu. Okay, she is one of those students that even while in class, she was already working part-time.
Oh.
Yes, I don't know how she did it, but she's one of those students that is she excels in terms of, this is, okay, I'm doing accounting, I'm learning accounting, but I also want to practice it. So she was doing it part-time, I think on Saturdays, Sundays, in a small accounting firm. And she's currently pursuing her ACCA. She graduated in July 2021.
I see.
And this is my student, Lee Yong Ping. So this is one of our recent graduates. You can see she just graduated in 2022, but she's already working audit associate at LLT Lim and Associates, and she's also planning to do her ACCA.
Wow.
Okay, this was the student I was talking about, Kit, and another friend of his. Now, they were the two students that I gave them referral letters. They got into the Big Four, and after that, as you said, the sky is the limit. Now he's a tax senior at Russell Bedford, and he specializes in transfer pricing, and he's also going to plan to do his ACCA.
And he's so good looking.
Yes, he is. You should check out his Instagram. This is the thing about students like him. You can be doing a very stressful job, but you need to have time for yourself to rest and relax and pursue other hobbies as well.
Just like you,
Yes,
Dr. Suda.
yes. This was the student I was talking about, Deng Nan. So Deng Nan now she's currently in the UK. So I dropped her an email and said, Deng Nan, I need a photograph of you. I want to show you as one of our successful students, because she sent me an email telling me that she was very passionate about the area that she wanted to pursue, which is environmental accounting. And I was teaching environmental environmental costing. So there was one particular topic that she was interested in. That's why she's decided to move in that area for her PhD.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah, that's all. Actually, I have, as I said, CY, I have tons
So
and
much
tons.
more. Yeah.
Yes.
But thank you very much for sharing. I think, Dr. Suda, one of the things that I've noticed about you that is
tell
very
me.
special,
What?
being a lecturer, is your engagement with the students.
Yes.
And at SEGI, this is something that we emphasize very strongly as well. We don't treat our students as just students. We treat them as part of our network, and we treat them as friends. And
I see one of my students there, Habib
Who?
Ferraj.
Oh, let me feature him.
Let me see.
Hello.
Is he?
Yeah.
No, he's not. I think he hid himself, is it? Let me contact him later. I'm going to ask him, what did you think of the session?
Yeah, and coming back to what I was saying, right?
Yes.
Engagement with students is very important. And
Correct.
Dr. Suda, I think one of the things that I think students really appreciate about you is you going the extra mile of helping them with recommendation letters.
Yes.
Pulling in your network to help
Correct.
them succeed in your career,
Correct.
in their career, and things like that. So thank you very much, Dr. Suda, for doing this.
You're most welcome.
One
Sulai.
final question before I let you
Yeah.
go, though. So what would be your final advice to students who are thinking about pursuing accounting and finance? What would be your advice?
Okay. If you love accounting and you are one of those students that either you took accounting in school before or you didn't, I do have some science stream students that they wanted to do accounting, but just so happened they took the science stream. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter whether you are in the science stream or art stream. If deep down in your heart, you have a passion for numbers, you love accounting, double entry for that example, you can start with simple double entry, then please, by all means, come to any of our branches and speak to our counselors. In fact, you can reach out to me as well, okay? And I would definitely help you out and guide you. And most importantly, do not give up in your passion. When you know you love something and you want to pursue it, please go all out and go for it. As I said, the pathway that we are offering, it doesn't matter whether it's a 1 credit, a 3 credit, or a 5 credit. There is a pathway for you. In fact, I just want to quickly say this. We even have APAL-A. Those for working students who don't have academic credentials, but you have working experience, you can still join the program through APAL-A. Yes.
There is a pathway for everyone.
Yes, there is.
Thank you very much, Dr. Suda, for joining us this morning.
CY.
Thank you. And to all of our viewers, thanks for tuning in. We have a few more sessions after this, so stay tuned. We will be back after the break. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At SEGI, you'll get to live, learn, and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules, and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives, and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports, and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are. High High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At Segi, you'll get to live, learn and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are. High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At Segi, you'll get to live, learn and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are. High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At Segi, you'll get to live, learn and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are.
To do a lot of news.
Okay. Hello to our viewers. Welcome back to the Chat with Segi series. Together with me in this session is Mr. Muhammad Aiman, who is the head of School of Communication and Creative Design. Before I introduce him, our topic for this session is going to be creativity is never enough. What school leavers must know before enrolling into a creative arts and design program. And I think there is no better person to talk about this than our head from the School of Communication and Creative Design, because he has had years and years of industry experience. Good day. Good morning, Mr. Aiman.
Oh, good morning. Still good morning.
Could you introduce yourself, Mr. Aiman?
Okay. My name is Aiman. I'm actually the head of school for the SOCCD, School of Communication and Creative Design here in Segi. I've been around the industry teaching-wise for about nearly 20 years, and I also been in industry for quite a long time, doing studios, animation, and projects based on creative.
Oh, but you don't look like you have been working for 20, 30 years.
The dark underbag here is the proof that I've been working for a long time.
Thanks for joining us this morning. So we're here to talk about creative arts and design, and I think with the creative industry, me being a marketer myself, I work a lot with creative people, be it videographers, graphic designers, multimedia designers and stuff like that. I have noticed that the creative industry, of course, is getting more and more competitive. It's harder and harder for graduates to stand out, or even for senior designers to stand out. When it's so competitive now, how do you stand out?
Okay, I think first and foremost, I think to be frank, every colleges have, I think, their own design courses.
Mm.
So I think everybody will be learning the same thing more or less
More or less,
everywhere. But the difference are maybe a bit small parts of the course. But I think one big part that students need to develop, not just as a designer, but they also need to develop as a communicator.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, even they can sit down and do work, design and so on, but at the end of the day, they need to communicate their design outside. Communicate to the audience that they are designing, communicate to the client that they are talking about. One thing I see that if in order for the student to actually be competitive in the industry and to get a heads up among all the other competitors that they have, they need to be able to communicate, talk.
Talk. And I think that's very important. In fact, last week I was just speaking to our creative director in the marketing department. I asked him, when you hire designers, right, what do you look out for? Do you look for skills? And he told me, Siva, if you are talking about skills, right, everybody have more or less the same skill.
True.
What I'm looking for is someone who understands what I'm talking about and understand how to design what I want them to
Yes.
design. And that is communication. Isn't it?
Yes, communication. Because the designer will have to be able to translate what you want.
Mm.
So, for example, I want to do a campaign, so on, so I need to design this for this kind of market and so on. So, for me as a designer, I need to understand first what you want. So that's communication from your side. At the same time, I also need to translate that, understand, and use my design skill to actually do a design that will match what you want.
Mm.
Because there is a big gap between what you want and how the designer is going to interpret the design. So having a good communication skills, understanding what you want to do is also a part of that advantage that you get from being in the industry. At the same time, students, I would say there are some students who are actually going to work in the industry as a designer for a person. Sometimes they also want to be their own boss, their own
Opening their own firm,
company and so on.
creative firm. Yeah.
So they themselves will also have to be able to communicate with clients that they have not met before. They are meeting for the first time in the big meeting room. So they have to be able to have a confidence to actually present what the idea that they want to do, and to translate that so that let's say you as the boss or you as the client, will understand directly the project that they're doing or the design they want to do. So that's, I think, one of the things that is missing with a lot of students, graduates, that they don't have this skill set to actually talk and communicate. So one thing that we want to do in our course is actually we are combining, because our school is actually School of Communication and Creative Design. If you look at the name itself, there's this merging, the merging of these two big
Fields of domains of study.
So the students who are doing design are exposed to communication skills. The same goes as the students are doing communication are exposed to design skills.
Communication here as in mass communication.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. So because these two are entwined in any way, any possible way, when you go out into the industry and you work, you will meet these two people together at the same time.
Exactly, and I think the market is getting more and more competitive in the job. I mean, in the industry, or even in if you're starting your own business. When people hire designers, they don't just want someone who can design. They want someone who understands mass communication. They want someone who understands copywriting at least a little bit, right?
Yes.
So that they can come up with design that does not only look good, but has the ability to pull in customers, entice people to want the product.
Yes.
And that is two very distinct and two very different skills. Having the ability to come up with a design that is attractive is one. I think that's the basic of every designer.
Every basic designer will have to have that.
But having the ability to come up with design that can sell, that's a different story.
Yes.
And I think in Segi, like Mr. Aiman has rightfully say, is the faculty is designed in such a way where we combine mass communication, the School of Mass Comm, and the School of Creative Arts and Design together, and we do that purposely so that students can learn from their peers and get the skills from the another domain.
Yes.
Right? We call it cross-disciplinary skills.
True.
Yeah.
the one thing that we want to also get the student to understand is that they are not working in a shell under their own domain, because sooner or later they would have to venture out and interact with another domain. So the communication domain is one thing that they will always interact, because truthfully all of our projects are mostly towards communication. You want to advertise, it's communication. You want to do a campaign, it's all communication. So the campaign needs a design, needs the video, needs whatever, it all will go to the creative designers. So these two domains are quite close together. So they need to talk to each other, and for the student to understand what the other side wants, it makes it easier for the other side to give you that to give you the project, or to give you, so because you understand what their concerns are. Same goes as they understand your concern. So if the communication side want you to do a particular video or whatsoever, but they know that you are working under a timeline, then they know how to plan for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Same goes as you talking to the communication side.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing. So, Mr. Aiman, if I may, creative arts and design, right? These programs, a lot of institutions are offering, more or less, right? And I mean, when we talk about graphic design, multimedia design, a lot of universities and a lot of colleges are offering these programs. What makes SEGI special? What is SEGI doing to help our students stand out?
Okay. So one of the big things that SEGI is doing currently is to actually implement TVET into our course structure.
Oh.
So one TVET here is basically having industry players or industry coaches coming into the class and teaching class.
Oh.
Or that if it's possible, if the company is able to do it, that we actually get the student to actually go to the company and study there.
Oh.
So that's one thing that we are doing quite diligently here in SEGI. That's one. The other thing is that the reason why we are doing that is actually basically to actually get the students to actually be up to date with the current industry. Because understandably, yes, when the lecturer is teaching, lecturer might be having content or maybe techniques that maybe not up to date. Not because that they are not practitioners or whatsoever, but maybe because changes in the industry is quite fast.
Yeah, it's almost like a daily thing.
Yes. One day you will need to design something like this. The next day somebody else have created something that can solve that problem straight away, and you move on to another another technique.
Exactly.
So with that, we can get the student to actually be up to date, right in front of the industry, with the industry. So that's one of the things that we do. The next thing is that also with that, the lecturers are also going to be exposed with the technology that they're using, because the lecturer will also have to join together with the TVET. So it keeps our lecturers also up to date with the industry. The other thing also is that it's also one way of actually getting the student and the industry to get to know each other. Because when the industry is actually participating with the class, they can see the students' growth, how they do, what they do in class. Because at the end of the day, the company also want to see how the students perform under pressure, the students' attitude. So with having them to get to know each other at early stage, then the company can actually see that, oh, this particular student, every time I give a comment, he will
take it
positively and do it, and so on. So whenever that the student actually graduates, the company already knows that student. And straight away
they will chope the student
chope
before
the student straight away, because I know you very well. You know my name. You know me. I know you, and maybe they might have a contact number. So the bond is already there. So for the student, that is an opportunity for them to actually get placement before they graduate.
And to give our viewers a bit of context to this whole, TVET strategy that we are deploying, and this whole idea about bringing industry into the classroom, to give you a bit of context, right? In the education industry, it's very common for a university or a college to have some sort of industry engagement. I think generally the most basic one institution can do is to bring their students to go out for field trips, or invite some designers to come in and give some talks. SEGI does that as well. But on top of that, what SEGI is doing differently is we actually bring the industry right into the classroom, where the industry can I mean, the companies and brands, they can come in and say, okay, I have a project for you. Let's work with the lecturer and turn it into an assignment.
Yeah.
Right? Or it can be like on the job training and
I can give you an
job
example.
assignment. Oh, yeah, sure.
I can give you an example. This is a merge between creative design and mass comm. We have the industry is basically Mars Airline. So they came over to
Mars Airline is in Malaysia Airlines.
Malaysian Airline.
Yes,
Is it?
Malaysia Airlines.
Malaysian Airlines would be lah. So they came over because you kind of lost of whether is it Mass Airline, Malaysian Airline,
Malaysia Airlines, yeah, Mars,
right?
yeah.
So they came over to the faculty and they asked the students. They went into one of the class. We invited them. They come to class and then they gave us this project. It's a competition project where they actually ask the student to actually design a campaign for them. The campaign is actually about student tourism. They want to promote student tourism and using Mars Airline to actually do that. So at the same time, they ask the student to actually propose their the corporate identity for the campaign. All the design collaterals that they want to do. So it's a merge of the two parts. The mass comm students will handle the campaign, the strategy, the sponsorship and so on. The design student will actually handle the design of all those things. So this is what I'm trying to say, that the industry that comes over into our class are not industry that are not companies that are trying to use the student. It's actually a good exposure for the student to actually contribute to something that is actually the company is doing.
Yeah.
So because there are a lot of companies who actually come over and just want to take advantage of students.
Yeah.
Because it's
that happens a lot.
That happens a lot. But we make sure that the company that comes over are actually the ones that actually can contribute to the students' learning process. And because it's also a competition, so the student who actually is going to win it is actually going to get an internship placement with them.
Wow.
For their when they go for internship.
Right.
And one thing also that when I see what they want to do is that the students, whoever that has been selected for final presentation, they will actually go to Mars, go to their board, the top management actually present to the top management.
Wow.
So this is also a very good exposure for them to actually learn and feel, because nobody can actually replicate that.
Exactly.
This environment of high tension presentation
to big bosses.
Yes, to big bosses, you cannot replicate that in class.
Exactly. Just in one of the sessions just now, I was just explaining to Dr. Stephen, the Dean of Faculty of Business and Law, that I was having a conversation with Miss Yao Ling, the principal for Segi College, Kota Damansara. She was saying her student was presenting to one of the company's big bosses, and of course, in this presentation, they also engage with some of their managers and some of their executives, and these managers are telling Miss Yao Ling that, hey, your students are presenting to my big bosses. In my 3-4 years of working in this company, I have never presented to my big boss before. That kind of exposure really is not something that can be easily replicated.
Yes.
And it's not something that a lot of institutions are able to achieve.
True.
So students, when you are choosing a creative arts program, in considering an institution to study, don't just ask them about, what are the skills that I'm going to acquire. Ask them, who do I get to present to? What companies do I get to work with? What amazing thing, what real life projects can I experience during the course of my study?
Can I add another thing?
Yeah.
Because I understand there are some students who actually do not want to be in front of this. Some of them are introvert.
They don't like to be in front
Some
of the
people are
camera.
introvert. Some people are extrovert.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that for students who are introvert, who doesn't want to be on the front line of this presentation, we also cater for them, because the students actually will learn all the skill set that what they will learn in colleges for studies. But at the same time, we will also try to build their confidence, so that when time comes, when the student actually need to actually be, let's say for example, you want to expand your let's say you're doing freelancing and you want to expand to the international market. So you want to actually be able to talk to international clients and so on. So even though they are introverts, they are being taught all these techniques of actually how to communicate and how to talk to people, to try to be comfortable talking to people, so that when the time comes, when job comes in and you need to present something, you won't be so
Kalang kabut, you don't know what to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that we also want to show, that we cater for both. I understand that some students do not want to be pushed into this. Some students wants to be pushed into this. So if those don't want to be pushed, we are still going to train you on how to actually deal with all this situation, so that later on, when the time comes, and you know, in the next maybe 10 years, 15 years, when you start to actually grow outside of your comfort zone and try to go into other domain, that's the time when you actually can perform, can use all these things that you learn
Exactly.
in class.
Thank you. Thank you. Before we end, and before I pose my final question to Mr. Aiman, in a moment, I'm going to ask you, what would be your advice, your final advice to students who wants to pursue, a creative arts and design program? What should they look out for in a university or a college, in choosing a program? In a moment, I'm going to ask you that. But just to summarize to our viewers out there, when you're considering a program, I think what I've got from Mr. Aiman's, inputs and sharing this morning is that it's very important for you to realize, right, for a university or a college to be able to offer, let's say, a diploma in graphic design or degree in multimedia, creative multimedia and things like that. There are certain requirements that they need to fulfill to get their accreditation. And every institution, every university, and every colleges, generally they have the right accreditation. That means in terms of skill transfer, in terms of teaching you the skills necessary, for you to come out as a designer and start designing, everybody has that, right? So if you are meeting a university representative, and if the question that you are asking is, what skill do I gain after I enroll in your degree or a diploma, that's the wrong question to ask. You need to learn to ask smarter questions. Like Tony Robbins say, right, the quality of your life depends on the quality of question that you ask yourself. Don't ask, what skill can I acquire? Ask better question. Ask, who are your industry partners? What can I do? Do you work with Malaysia Airlines like Segi? Ask questions like that, because when you ask the right questions, the right answers surface, and that is how you get ahead. So, Mr. Aiman, my final question to you. If I'm a student and I'm trying to choose which institution should I go for, what question should I ask? What should I look out for?
What you should ask? Other than the fees, usually what people will ask, right? Other than that, I think the big thing that you want to ask is whether are you going to learn anything more outside of the creative design domain? Because truthfully, everybody has the same more or less skill set that people are going to teach in colleges. But you want to ask them, what else are you going to teach us? What kind of experience that you're going to provide to us, and to the students, so that they know that they're not just going to learn to sit in front of a computer and do design, but they're also going to learn on how to actually talk to people, how to actually be entrepreneurial, how to actually charge if you are doing projects and so on, how much you want to charge for your artwork, all those things. The skill set needs to be learned, so that when you go out, you can be competitive.
Exactly. Exactly. So thank you once again, Mr. Aiman, for joining us this morning. To our students, if you are interested in creative arts and design, if you're watching this video, leave us a comment, and then we will reach out to you and tell us more about the programs that we offer. And if you want to meet Mr. Aiman, right there, hey, Mr. Aiman, I want to meet you. Can we schedule an appointment and we can make it happen for you?
I'm free to talk. I like to chat with students.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Mr. Aiman.
Welcome.
And to all of our viewers, when we come back, we are going to talk to Mr. Yi Ka Ho, who's our senior lecturer and currently stationed in the United States. I'm not sure what time is it over there, but he's going to come in and talk to us about, is there a future in music in Malaysia? So if you're interested in, pursuing music, stay tuned and see you right after the break. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Mr. Aiman, once again.
Welcome.
Throughout the years, we've been hard at work. Established 6 campuses throughout the country. garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni, received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements, teared down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here. Throughout the years, we've been hard at work, established 6 campuses throughout the country, garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni, received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements, teared down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here.
school's over, we bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At Segi, you'll get to live, learn and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are. High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At Segi, you'll get to live, learn and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are. High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At Segi, you'll get to live, learn and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chat with Segi series. My name is CY, and together with me, I have Mr. Yika Ho, a senior lecturer from our School of Music. And at the same time, if you Google him, you will know that he is a renowned musician. He's a renowned composer. So if you want to Google him, you can Google him right away. But before I bring up Mr. Yi, we are here to talk about, is there a future in music in Malaysia? Because the truth is, a lot of students approach us and they say, I have a passion in music, but I don't know if I can make money out of it. I don't know if it is going to be a sustainable career. And we thought to ourselves, who better to talk to you than our very own senior lecturer, who is currently in the United States right now, connecting in, Mr. Yika Ho, to share with you about his experience and things like that. So good. I don't know, should I say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening? Mr. Yi, where are you from now? You're in Washington.
CY.
Hello.
Yeah. Here is around 8:30 in the night.
Oh, good evening then.
Good morning in KL.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in all the way from Washington. You are in the US because you are now a Fulbright scholar, right, Mr. Yi?
Yeah, I'm receiving a Fulbright scholar in residence and based in Washington State University and to teach in one academic year.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thanks for tuning in. So today we're going to talk about, can I make money being a musician in Malaysia? And without further ado, I'm going to pass the floor over to Mr. Yi. about to talk about building a sustainable music career. Mr. Yi, over to you.
Yes. Instead of we talk about the big topics, is there any future in the music life in Malaysia? I wanted to speak the building a sustainable music careers. So the most frequently the questions come to me is, can I make a living as a composer, as a musician? Can I survive as a professional as a composer? And this is the most questions come to mind. And speaking from my experience, if you enjoy music, you may want to consider a career in the music industry. While the musicians and singers have a strong presence in the music industry, they are the most visible jobs in the music is considered as music performers. But beside the music performers, you can also think about the other roles. So what does a musical's careers look like? So here is the orchestras, musicians, chamber musicians, administrators, music education, composer, producers come to the artist managers and the sound engineers. So uh, when people think about working in the music industries, so most of them desire to be performers and musicians. I think there are other roles than this, which is you can look at the slide here. And yes, the musicians are the significant and visible part of the music industry, but they are far from alone. And we know that music are as a diverse as others. Like in realities, most musicians will have multiple role in the industry. Like what I do now is I'm the uh, music lecturers, but at the same time I also involved in the music performers, and then I also compose. I'm the composer. So these are the multiple roles that you can consider when you taking music career as your professionals. So please go to the next slide. So what are your roles? And it is critical to have a variety of uh, goals. You need to think short, mediums, and also the long terms, and to understand that not all goals are created equals. Setting the right mix of the goals may and will benefit you professionally. So choose the role you want, and there are various roles available in the music industry. You are good in music performance, you can think about you can be a professional musician. But if you are not good enough, but you still enjoy music and would like to take the music as your professional career, you can take look other opportunity like to be like composers and music engineers and also the music educators. So, so there are many others like crossovers and music together with others subject like music anthropologies, music aesthetics, and music critics, and so on. There are so many the roles and careers in the music that you can consider. Please turn to the next. So speaking about the networking and peoples, you need to create an effective network. So the most connections that you make, the better chances of getting lead and finding your job will be. Introduce yourself, send your resumes, send materials, and request for a meeting with others people in the industry. You can start making personal connections, and and the connections and networking in the music industry is very very important. And and from my experience, most of my music performance or I get a commission work from musicians and from the orchestra is best and also from the music connections that I have with others peoples. So yeah, please turn to the next and develop a brand. And this is very important, everyone. And it is very fun to play around. Uh, like you have your portfolios, and you need to create a social medias, and you need to upload the videos and audio recordings, and create a consistent content and grow your brands. And we live in the contents driven world, as you know. And many employers want to see what you can bring to the tables. So what I did is create an online portfolios and others relevant materials. And I also make a website as well as a social medias to display my portfolios. And you may not find opportunities right away, but being setting out in these platforms and keep an eyes on them, and it is good ideas that you have uploaded the videos and audio recordings and write a interesting resumes and CV, so that others materials that potentially the employers and others people in the industry might find interesting. So I like to share you how I do to develop a consistently content and brands myself as a soundscape composer. A soundscape composer, which is use the recording that you are from the environmental sounds, ambient sound, nature park, as a materials, as the inspirations and use in your music. So CY, you just turns very fast to the next. So I always use the same brands like listening on the social medias, and you can see that I did many of field recording in different spots, and then just pass on the slide to the next. So by listening and people knows me, uh, I can do the field recordings. I can use the recordings from different aspects from the rules, the socials content, and to be used in my compositions. So here are so many the content and brand that myself did on the social medias. Just for your viewers listening, and this is the Orang Asli. I did the recordings in their village, and the next one is I did recordings during the winter season in the campus here, and the next is I did a few recordings. I'm putting a hydrophones is underwater microphone in the waters, and also use the same brains sense that means listening. So turn to the next, and also just turns to the next slide and gives us CYs. And there are so many interesting spots that I encountered and can be used in my composition. So the next one is the concert that I recently did. Uh, yeah, this is the ones, and there's one articles published on this insiders WSUs, and I consider as a Perusa soundscape composers, and their entire concert is featuring my works, my soundscape compositions, and then is just happening weeks ago. And this is a story that to tells you need to create a consistent content and grow your brains on social media, and then let people know that you are serious about the subject that you are developed with. So please turn to the next slide. So what you want to do the next? To stay organized, this is very important. I recommend creating a business plan. So everything is right on the business plans. So there are several approaches to write to writing a business plans. So decide what area of interest you have, and to begin to start with there. So if you are interested in to do that like music performance, you need people getting know you. You need to attend the relevant concert. You can't just simply sit at home and you expect someone look for you to get a kit or to present at a certain festival or concert. And then to build the networking is very important. So stay organized, and then you need to know better about your own roles as a music performers, as a music composer, songwriting, and so on. And this is very important. So it's very diverse of different position in the music careers. So please turn to the next. The next one is very important to improve your skill. And you need a good presentation of the music, and all this came from the practice. You need to practice hours and hours and years to get over years to get you perfect in the techniques in music performance, and then to identify your capacity and skill, and the more skill you have, the more opportunity will come to your way. So make time to learn a new skill is also very important. Practice and improve in everything you do. And you need to have a very an honest evaluations of your current strengths and your weaknesses is requires and beneficial. So record all the practice systems and listen carefully and talk to the trust mentors. You need to have a find a good teachers. And I think that in Turkey we have a very great teachers uh, that you can find with. And three, listen to everything that you learn, and having a diverse skill set can also be adventurous. So these are all speaking from my experience when you want a music career to be your professional careers in the futures. Uh, Need to practice and practice and practice, and then stay tunes and get connections in the music industry. And most importantly is you need to attend the relevant music concert, event, and workshops, and to get better knows to, so that people know you in this industry. So these are all my experience wise.
Thank you for sharing so many tips. And I think this is really what you have shared is really very valuable. I think as I've said in the beginning of this sharing session, right? When students come to us, the first thing that they ask us is, "Can I make money or not?" In the music industry in Malaysia, and I think after hearing your presentation, the the opportunities are there, the careers are there. But what sets the difference between what sets successful musicians apart from the not so successful ones are, like you said, number one, you must understand that building a brand and having a portfolio is very important. Number two, you must be able to go out and network with other musicians, put yourself out there so people know you and you know people. That is how opportunities come your way. You have also mentioned that having mentors are very important. I think in the music industry, it's a very skill-based industry. How far you go depends largely on what are your skills. And you have mentioned that the more skills you have, the more opportunity that will come your way. But in order for you to acquire those skills, having the right mentor is very important. And I think in Segi, um, there are really a lot of great mentors in the School of Music, you yourself being one of them. And to all of our students who are watching this right now, right, just Google Yi Kaho and you will see how amazing Mr. Yi's profile is. Mr. Yi, before I let you go, right, one question that I have for you. Let's say if I'm a student who wants to pursue diploma in music, or a program that is relevant to music, what should I look out for in an institution or a college that is offering, in making that decision? What should I look out for?
I think you need to look at programs and its most relevant to the current industry's demands, and industries based course is very important. Some courses that only you learn the theoretical subject, and sometimes it is out of topics. When you go into the industry, you can find that this is not relevant and it's not useful. And then, so Miss Esther at music program coordinators of the music programs, and me is always think about we need to follow the same trends in the music industry so that when student graduates, they can very easily to get a job. And this is the most concerned and my from my side and also for the Segi music department.
Yeah, and I think when you study music, it's very easy to go into the path of just looking at music theories and becoming an academician. Nothing wrong with being an academician, but when you don't be careful, or when you're not aware of which path you're going, what is your plan, right? It's very easy for you to fall into the trap of let's look at music theories, and as you go along, then you realize, hey, what you are learning and what you're getting is not industry relevant. And it's not practical. So in choosing a university or an institution, students, for those of you who are watching right now, ask yourself, is the subjects that they are offering in that institution in line with what the industry wants? Is it updated? Are the skills that you acquire going to help you move forward in your music career? And I think another thing that is very important, coming from what Mr. Yi have said, is networking opportunities and performance opportunities. Because in the music industry, it's all about how you position yourself, how you make people know you, and how you know people. And I think what better time to do it, to go out into the world and make yourself known when you are still studying. So if you are thinking of which institution to go to pursue your qualification in music, ask them, what opportunities do I have to go out and meet renowned composers, renowned musicians? What concerts do I get to go? Which names do I get to which names do I get to know from the music industry, to put yourself out there? And I think that's very important, right, Mr. Yi?
Yeah. Thank you very much to bring everything out. And then I think, and this is very important to getting know people, and you need to know the currents, the industries, the most current trends in the industries, and then you need to design the program is a relevance to the industries the best. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Yi, for joining us all the way from Washington. And we wish you a good evening.
Yeah. Good night, good evening.
Good night and good evening. And to all of our viewers, thank you for tuning in. We are going to go for a break right now. And in a while, when we come back, we are going to talk about mass communication in the digital age. So if you're interested in mass communication, stay tuned. And once again, thank you very much, Mr. Yi, for joining. And to all of our students, stay tuned. And we'll see you right after the break.
Oh, mak seronoknya mak tengok tu, mak tengok. Oh. Mak. Tu saya
Yalah, tu mak saya
main. Bye.
Know that uni's hip and cool, so come on over, we'll show you. It's a place where hopes and dreams come true. If it's in your heart, you can see it through.
Lifetime buddies, success stories, tell me more, I need to know. Different faces, reaching places, this is my time, it's all up to me. The best in you made possible. The best in us, we stand together. We reach new heights and touch the sky. The best in you, together we can fly.
Yeah, walaupun kami datang dari latar belakang berlayanan, kami di sini juga pengalaman berbeza, bahasa dan juga bangsa. Tak mudah kami pecah. Yeah, kita kejar kecapi mimpi, gagahkan hati, pelajar berdikari dengan teman di sisi, tak pernah berasa sepi.
bring it back, come on. Rock and D kiri, rock and D kanan Sarawak Penang ke, mari kita pergi. Semangat membara, sedaya upaya, tak mungkin kami gegah. Had the plan and hold your vision. Keep on going, don't be stopping. Failure to us ain't no option. The best thing you made possible.
Have a vision, make it happen. Tell me more, I need to know. Time to act right, take it in stride. This is my time, it's all up to me.
The best in you make possible. The best in us, we stand together. We reach new heights and touch the sky. The best in you, together we can fly. The best in you make possible. The best in us, we stand together. We reach new heights and touch the sky. The best in you, together we can fly.
High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At Segi, you'll get to live, learn and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are.
Throughout the years, we've been hard at work. Established 6 campuses throughout the country. Garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni. Throughout the years, we've been hard at work. Established 6 campuses throughout the country. Garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni. Received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements. Tear down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here. Throughout the years, we've been hard at work, established 6 campuses throughout the country, garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni, received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements. Tear down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here. Throughout the years, we've been hard at work, established 6 campuses throughout the country, garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni, received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements. Tear down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here.
Hello and welcome back to the Chat with Segi series. Oops, I forgot to mute my speaker. But welcome back to the Chat with Segi series. My name is CY, I'm your moderator, and with me is Mr. Muhammad Aiman, who is the head of School of Communication and Creative Arts and Design. And he explicitly told me, CY, when we talk about mass comm, it better be a bit more casual and we should laugh and try to not make it so stressful.
Yes.
So I'll try to not make it so stressful for everyone. We're here to talk about very interesting topic. The topic is mass communication in the digital future. How to choose the best university or college to do mass comm or PR. So if you're someone who is interested in mass comm or PR, you've come to the right place. And I will try my best to make it more casual. Not a professional broadcaster here. I didn't study mass comm, but here I am. I'll try my best. Thanks for being here, Mr. Aiman. Could you introduce yourself first?
My name is
And make it fun.
My name is Aiman. I'm the head of school for communication and creative design here in Seki. So we are here. I'm actually in charge of the course and the programs for mass comm and communication.
Right. Sound like a very fun thing to do.
Sounds like stuck.
Okay, let's talk about the mass comm industry. You know, the industry have changed, especially during the COVID, where everything is digital. And I think the future is digital. Really, the screens are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah, the eyes are also getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That's why we need spectacles and stuff like that. Too much screen.
True.
Yeah. Can you share with us a little bit about where the industry is going as far as mass comm is concerned?
Okay, I think before COVID, I'm not saying before COVID, maybe before 2000, the whole idea of mass comm is a very strong industry because the whole idea of having one person to actually communicate with a lot of people, that is one of the things that the country or the industry likes to do. Government is holding on to it. Everybody is a participant of that endeavor. But right after when we start to have social media and everything, it has become it has diverged. You still have the big mass comm, conventional mass comm,
like TV stations, radio stations, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Those are still around and they're still quite strong. But also there's this one diverging of domain that is actually mass comm that is targeted, created by gigs, gigs industry, and then they're targeted for more smaller
audience, more specific audience.
They are still huge audience, but they're more targeted audience.
It's like key opinion leaders and influencers, right?
Yeah,
smaller broadcasting
influencers, smaller
personalities,
those kind of things, and then they are more targeted towards what you actually want. So, like for mass comm, the big mass comm, you are actually looking at whatever that I broadcast, you will have to listen. But now the audience have a choice where I want to listen, who I want to listen to. So now it has become this one genre of mass communication that is more targeted towards this. And then
I think they should change it to from mass comm to specific comm. Targeted comm.
The conventional enthusiasts of mass comm will disagree on it because it's still 1% to a lot of percent.
Okay,
so it's still mass comm.
And I think that is where the industry is going as well. I come from marketing, so in terms of the advertising industry, it used to be, if you want to put up, if you want to communicate to the masses, we are trained to go on TVs, put your advertisement on radio, design a billboard. But nowadays we're talking about, if you want to reach out to, let's say, school leavers, which platform should we go for? Which social media should we go for? If you want to talk to people who are, interested in mass communication, then where do we go and find these people and how do we communicate to them? And that, I think, has really changed. And there's a lot of strategy that goes behind, how you craft a certain message so that it reach certain people, right?
Because if you talk about mass comm, the conventional mass comm, you have these big corporate entities which have a lot of departments, and they all do their own part. One is doing the advertisement, one is doing sponsorship, one is doing the media planning and so on, and the PR, all in one big corporate company. So when you graduate as a mass comm, you'll be parked inside one of this. But if you are going for this gig economy that is doing this kind of a targeted mass comm, then you won't be able to actually create all this. You're not part of this whole big corporate, so you need to learn all those things and be able to actually we'll call it succeed as your own company. You are yourself your own company. So then you need to learn a lot more things other than just the common mass comm.
Right. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about learning mass comm. Like I said in all my previous sessions, right? I always ask my guests. I say the program that we're here to talk about, be it mass comm, be it creative arts, be it business or whatever, a lot of institutions are offering, right? A lot of university, a lot of colleges are offering diploma in mass comm, degree in mass comm and stuff like that, and PR as well. What makes SEGI special? What are we doing differently?
Okay. As what we discussed before this, before during the creative design webinar, is that our courses are our school is basically a merge of these two, which is the communication and the creative. So before this, we were talking about how creative needs communication skills. So this is one part of the opposite side of that.
Yeah, now it's reverse, right?
Reverse. So for a communication student, a mass comm student, they also need to learn a bit on how the creative industry works, the creative things that happen in the creative, because no matter what, these two is going to talk to each other outside the industry. These are the common. They are more or less symbiotic per se. That they
these
will
two
work,
domain
to each other. So we talked about just now that a creative designer must know how to work in the communication industry, because this is where most of the jobs come from. But the commercial industry also must know how creative industry work. So from there, because then they can plan better, they can plan their budget better, they can plan their media planning and all those things in consideration of what the creative industry would do. For an example, some projects, some jobs may require a few hours to do. Some jobs may require a few days to do. So by understanding how the creative industry works, you as a communication student will have a better understanding on how to plan your own project, how to plan your own campaign, and not really needy asking, demanding things that cannot be done, and in the end, the quality suffers.
So I think what SEGI is doing differently right at the start is we put mass communication and creative arts and design together in one single school. So by design, just by enrolling into SEGI, you already have that distinction. That you not only learn the mass comm side of things, you learn the creative side of things as well. These two industries always work together. So by design, you already stand out.
Yes.
What else, Mr. Aiman?
The other thing is that because they are together, they do tend to work. We make sure that whatever that they do it together. I mean, if they are having projects with, let's say, for industry or with companies and so on, we make sure that these two domains actually work together inside the class, inside our courses, so that they don't feel that they are boxed into their own domain. One thing I see a lot of other colleges and so on is that they actually just your creative design college, your communication design, they are quite far apart. So when we merge them together, they actually they are in this melting pot where everybody works together. For an example, we have one project industry collaboration with Mars Airline that we mentioned before. There, the project actually requires the student to actually come up with a campaign. So the campaign, understandably, the creative design students are not so expert in that, but the mass comm are very expert in that.
They're trained to design
the campaigns and so on. So they will start off with the whole campaign, but at the same time, the the creative designers will also help out in the. So when they discuss and when they do meetings and they do proposals, the creative design students and the communication students will actually talk to each other and get each other feedback on how to do this project better for something like that.
Yeah, so immediately when you are studying, right, it's already like a work environment where you have to engage different stakeholders. You have to talk to your client, Malaysia Airlines in this case, and you need to be able to, come up with a campaign, with the mass communication or marketing people, and at the same time work with designers to execute the campaigns that you want. So I think when students come in to study, immediately, they are put into a situation like that where they learn how to manage and run a campaign.
Manage is one, but also to be sensitive on the other side, to understand what they want so that you can perform better. So if you do not know what is happening on the other side and you demand things that cannot be done, then you know that the whole campaign is going to fall, because you need to understand all the
you are very
mechanism.
single dimension.
Yes. So if you are as a mass comm student, you understand how the client, how do you want to talk to client and how the client works. You also know how your creative designer is going to do and work. You know how to find that balance. And produce the best kind of work based on the restrictions or the resources that you have.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is what a lot of university and colleges may not be able to offer you, because when they offer a program and when you offer a program in silo, let's say mass communication or PR only, then you don't see the other side of things. And the fact is, when you go out into the working world, or even if you start your own business, you're going to have to engage with people from other backgrounds, people from other industries, people from, people of different specialties. It's very important for you to understand their language, understand what they can do, what cannot do, right? To save you a lot of trouble and save you a lot of mistakes, and just propel yourself forward as fast as you can.
So back to that, what we are doing differently and how the industry is moving differently is that if the students actually going to a big corporate company, maybe they don't need to learn most of other parts. Maybe if they study PR, they will focus on PR.
Specialist, right? Yeah.
But when you want to go into the gig industry, you need to know all these things. So for us, we are teaching them not just the mass comm side. We all to understand everything about campaign management, how to actually deal with with media, how to deal with your clients, and so on. We also will incorporate some of the creative design element into your studies, so that when you go out, you can be your own self company, entity, and be successful in your own endeavor as a gig economy. So that's one of the things that we are looking at, because the industry is moving there. And we want to make sure that the students, when they go out, they can actually slot into this.
Exactly. So if you are not someone who, after you graduate, you don't want to work for people, you want to start your own thing, we train you to make use of gig economy. We train you to have the skills necessary to be your own boss and start something new yourself,
and actually succeed.
Exactly. That's important. So talking about success, Mr. Aiman, can you share with us some success stories from our alumni?
We actually have a few of our alumni in mass comm that actually have gone quite far. One of it is one of the students that we have actually is Aidil Iman. He's actually now currently in US because he was specifically picked by the US Embassy to actually represent Malaysia as an exchange program with the US Embassy on the other side. And I think they are dealing with mass comm PR, I think, for the embassies. So that is one of our alumni that's actually doing well. The other alumni that we also have is, we have two types of alumni. One is behind the screen, one is in front of the screen.
Right.
So the one in front of the screen, we have basically a few influencers that we have. That it was Segi alumni. One of it is Shifa Melvin. She's basically an actress and also a model. But I think she does a lot of TV series, drama TV series. But I think a lot of people will not know her much. But the one that maybe people might know for our generation is I'm So Jen. I'm Jen.
Yeah.
So she is our alumni. She currently on her own. She has developed her own brand. She has developed her own content.
So if you know Auntie Xiao, you know.
Auntie Xiao, yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know,
she's
so
quite
I'm-
popular, and people look for her for content.
Yeah.
So BMW engaged with her for an advertisement. So she's now currently have like about 900K subscribers. So I think one of the
That's amazing.
successful name for us.
Well, sounds like our students have gone out and done amazing things. There are just so many examples, and I don't think you can pull them.
We also have like some of it are radio presenters for Fly FM. Some of them, but these are all mostly, I would say, in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But behind the camera, there's a lot that is working with Media Prima, that's working with Astro, that's working with Citrine, which is one of the PR companies, and so on. So they are, to mention people, our alumni, those that are working behind the screen is quite hard to do because they are everywhere.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of alumni.
Yeah.
But the one in front, those are the examples that we have.
Exactly. So if you're interested to find out more about what our alumni has been up to, look at the website, go to segi.edu.my, look at our news section, because every once a while, I think almost every month, we will feature a success story from the School of Communication and Creative Arts, all the way from, I think, since 2016. We've had a consistent news coming in that's to tell me that, hey, CY, did you know that our student has gone out and win this award? Did you know that they're in this country doing amazing things? So just log on to our website and you will find a lot of success stories coming from the School of Communication and Creative Arts. So Mr. Aiman, my final question to you, right, is if I'm a student and I'm considering where to do mass comm or PR, right, and it gels back to our title today, how does one choose the best university or college to do mass comm or PR?
Okay, I think
number one, Mr. Aiman must be there.
No. I'm just a small cog in this whole structure. But I think one of the things that students will have to see is that, everywhere everybody is teaching mass comm. It's the same thing, but you have to see at what the students actually do for class, hands-on things that they do. For an example, campaigns that you have classes that the students would have to do campaigns and so on. So some places will have to do small campaigns, like it can just be a small class understanding how campaign works and so on. But for SEGI, our mass comm is actually a full-blown campaign. You can say it's basically a campaign company. So the students that study in our mass comm, they actually have to go and do a full-blown campaign program for the university and also for themselves.
Yeah.
So one of the example that we have basically is our upcoming event, which is Bridge Gender. So the student actually, they proposed that they want to do something to campaign on
the United Nations Sustainable
SDG,
Goal.
SDG 5, gender equality. They pointed at that, and then they are looking at to do a campaign to actually promote that. So they have organized, let's say, I think they organized a 1 month in advance what they want to do. So they have leading up events. They have karaoke in the car session. They have futsal events that they do between girls and boys, so that they can you break this whole gender difference stigma. Those things. They also going to have a forum later on next week.
Wow.
They are inviting big corporate entities and also personality to actually be in the forum and talk about how to actually get gender journey to be an equal gender society. But one of the among all those things that they do, part of the thing that they learn also in class is basically to how, all the design stuff is fine, they will do it, but they also will learn how to actually make money out of this. Because one of the things that they will learn, doing campaign is one, yes, but at the end of the day, when you do campaign, you need to know how to actually generate income from that.
Because, how to monetize.
Yes, how to monetize. So in the class, they would learn how to actually talk to sponsors. They actually go and engage with sponsors and they try to get income from there. They look at how to actually generate money from the events that they do. They look at generating money on how the content on social media will put into them and so on. So at the end of the campaign, other than just the whole idea of how successful the campaign is, the lecturer also will look at how successful the campaign in terms of monitoring.
Yeah, the business side of
The
things.
business side of it. So the students just don't go around and do campaign for fun,
Yeah.
but they also at the end there's also this layer of understanding how you monetize from the campaign.
Exactly, and I think this is one blind spot that a lot of students tend to miss. Also, they think that mass comm is all about, okay, I want to do an event, fun. You know, let's invite this fella in, and then let's do something fun. Let's throw a concert.
Yeah.
But in the actual world, when you go out into the working world, or you know, as an entrepreneur yourself, at the end of the day, what matters is profit and loss.
Yes.
What matters is the business side of things. When you do an event, what is the ROI? And that is something that SEGI is doing very differently compared to other institutions. We look into not just how well your event goes, but also how much revenue or how much ROI have you generated from your event.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that we want to make sure that students do.
Sounds so interesting. So students, if you're interested in mass communication or PR, do really consider SEGI University and colleges. And remember, the quality of your life depends on the quality of question that you ask yourself. That's from Tony Robbins. So in choosing a program, right, the quality of the program that you choose depends on the quality of question that you ask that particular university or college. Ask better questions. Don't just ask, mass comm, what are the subjects, who are my lecturers. More or less everywhere is the same, right? Ask about, what do I get to do? What are the campaigns that you have done? What have your students been up to?
How successful the campaign was.
How successful the campaigns were. It's not just about putting a concert, but how many people have attended the concert? How much money have you generated from that concert? And things like that. So ask better questions.
True.
Yeah. So, and that really ties with mass comm as well, right? When you go out for journalism, the art of asking questions is very important. So in your quest of choosing the right university or college, practice asking questions. Grill them. And if you want to grill Mr. Aiman, he is here in SEGI. Leave a comment below and say that, hey, I want to grill Mr. Aiman. Can we meet up and talk about mass comm?
Sure, no problem. You grill me, I'll make a grill barbecue for you.
And with that, thank you very much for tuning in. After this, we have one more session. We're going to talk about something a bit different. We're going to talk about psychology. So if you're interested in psychology, do come back after the break. And please join us in thanking Mr. Aiman for joining us this morning. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Nice to be here.
And remember, if you want to grill him, you know where to find him. Thank you. And we will see you after the break.
Throughout the years, we've been hard at work, established 6 campuses throughout the country, garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni, received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements. Tear down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here. Throughout the years, we've been hard at work, established 6 campuses throughout the country, garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni, received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements, tear down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here. Throughout the years, we've been hard at work, established 6 campuses throughout the country, garnered over 45 years of experience with 130,000 alumni, received countless awards and accolades. While we came from humble beginnings, we always aimed high, delivering industry-relevant curriculum, expanding our partnering universities worldwide, investing into new campuses and technologies, and most importantly, we focused on you, our students. When the whole world came to a sudden stop during the pandemic, we doubled down. We reimagined our future. While cost-cutting was the norm, we went all in with new innovations, new talents, free online courses, a new meta campus to make online learning fun and interactive. We future-proof your employability by using blockchain technology. We broke down entry barriers and made furthering your studies easier, regardless of your prior education background. We said no to traditional internship placements, tear down walls to bring the industry right into the classrooms, so you can learn from the world's best brands and their brightest minds. We always aim towards the international level and went beyond borders to create a truly global reach. We diversified our revenue streams and exported programs worldwide. We know the best answer to any challenge is to be resilient. We know to be future-proof is to be adaptable. And by embracing digitalization, you can create your own future. The world is an ever-changing landscape, and there's no telling what new challenges await. We're not preparing for the new normal, but the next normal, because it's already here.
High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At SEGI, you'll get to live, learn and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are.
Hello and welcome back to the Chat with Segi series. My name is CY, I'm your moderator. And together with me, I have Miss Priscilla Malar, our lecturer from Faculty of Education, Languages and Psychology. Such a long name, your faculty. But we're here to talk about psychology. The topic of our discussion today is psychologist of the future. What school leavers must know before they enroll into a psychology program. So if you are a school leaver, thinking about which university or which college to go to, and if you want to pursue psychology, you've come to the right place. So stay tuned. Miss Priscilla, welcome to the talk show / webinar.
Thank you for having me.
Most welcome. Could you introduce yourself?
Okay, so my name is Priscilla, and I'm the program leader and also the lecturer for psychology department here. And I'm very thrilled to be here because I can share to our audience about why you should be choosing psychology and why SEGI.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah.
So the road map of becoming a psychologist, it can be quite confusing.
Yes.
For school leavers, they think that, I want to become a clinical psychologist, I want to become a psychologist, I want to be a criminal psychologist, but I don't know how to go about, right? Miss Priscilla, could you share with us, what is the road map to become a psychologist and what are the different types of psychologists they are?
Okay, so we start with your high school education. Upon completing high school education, we can move forward to entering college. Whether it's a foundation or a diploma, that is a stepping stone to the bachelor's program. And when you're done with bachelor's program, we highly encourage you to do masters and pursue up to PhD because the qualification and the experience and your expertise only gets better and better when you add on to more and more education and academic excellence to your portfolio. So which is why we totally encourage the academic excellence to grow here so that you can market yourself. One, it's for marketing. Secondly, you will be ahead of everybody else in the industry and you can also get jobs easily. And being a pioneer in Malaysia is still something that we all look out for because we have psychology program that is growing, but it's not that competitive yet at the top level, right? So there's still a lot of room for success here for students who want to excel in psychology.
It's a growing industry,
Yes, it is.
and opportunities are everywhere. And I like what Miss Priscilla said about credentials. The psychology industry or the psychology scene is a scene where credential really matters because it's a professional scene. So the higher qualification you have, naturally more opportunities will open for you. So let's talk about in choosing a psychology program, be it a diploma or a degree. This is a question that I get asked a lot when I meet students. What should students look out for when they choose a psychology program? What should they consider?
Okay. That's a very interesting question because you see, a lot of universities and colleges, they're opening up programs, and psychology is the talk of the town right now.
Exactly.
Yes.
Everyone is starting to offer
Yes,
psychology somehow.
exactly. But one critical question that I would ask is, are the universities and the academicians ready to offer a psychology program with lecturer expertise and also research academic excellence? Do they have that as a backup and to promote that to the students? Because we all can offer programs, it's easy, right? But how are we going to market it to the students and give the quality that they totally deserve, right? In Segi University, we have lecturer experiences that are huge. 10 years, 15 years, we have a huge department under Faculty of Education. Psychology comes under the Faculty of Education. The Faculty of Education itself is a department that is driven by academic and also research excellence. Right? So there's a lot of research opportunity, there's a lot of academic growth, there's a lot of field observations, experiences that we give to the students. So we take it very seriously. Like not just a small program that we start, like a pilot study, and then we just see, well, let's see how it's gonna go. No, we're very serious about growing psychology.
Yeah, and I think the ugly truth is that everybody sees psychology, especially in Malaysia, as a growing field. And naturally, for a lot of university and colleges, they see the money in it.
Correct.
And that is where they started offering suddenly, there's a new diploma in psychology
yes.
program, there's a new degree in psychology program come mushrooming out
Exactly.
in the industry. But the question here is, they see the opportunity, but the question here is, are they ready to offer it or not?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think as a student, one big consideration factor that you must consider is how long has this university or college been in industry?
Yes.
Are they ready? Do they have the academics to support?
Yes.
Do they have the teaching facilities to support your
Correct.
your learning? That's very important, right? So moving on to our next question, and I think it's related to what we have talked about just now. A lot of universities and colleges offer psychology program, right? What makes Segi special?
Okay, so what makes Segi special is you have me, first specialty. Second is that we no longer offer assignments on a serious note. Yeah, we no longer offer assignments that is only written based. And how we used to teach, we changed the way we teach. So previously, we would just pick out a topic from the course and then design an investigation or something like that. Ultimately, the students will be writing a report, just by doing online research. So that is not good enough to be a competitive psychologist and to be well versed with the psychology field. So we have transformed the way we learn. We also transform the way students look at learning. So in my class, I can use my class as an example. I've created a field observation for my child psychology class. So the students, they would write a proposal. All this are done by the students. They write a proposal, they choose a child care or a child learning center, and then
these are real life centers.
Real. So they create an observational checklist. So in every course when we teach psychology, I cannot stop emphasizing how important research skills are in every subject. So what we do here is, for a child psychology class, the students created an observational checklist. They designed it themselves. These are not easy things to be designed and to be constructed. So they did the scoring metrics. They created sub-questions under social, emotional well-being and physical development of the child. So they had to apply everything that I've been teaching them into the checklist, to the observation, conduct a real observation, use the observational checklist to collect data. They come back to the campus, they process the raw data, and then they create a report with statistical analysis, and they present it in the class.
Wow.
So this is like an extensive way of studying psychology.
Yeah, and I think this really set us apart, because when it comes to doing research, right, it's not just about going into the internet, read some journals, and then write a critical review and things like that. It's about we're done with that already.
Yes, we're done.
Now we are talking about, you have learned the theories.
Yes.
Now let's look at real life application. Let's do a real research. Find a real find a real case scenario, right? Go in, do your research, present your data, and stuff like that. It's practical.
Yeah, I'd like to add on to that. Usually, what sets SEGI, to answer your question, what sets SEGI apart from most of the universities are usually students get hands-on experience only when they're ready to do their practicum, right? So why wait for practicum? Why can't we use our classroom, our students, to start exposing them to hands-on experiences every now and then, so that they'll be really confident when it comes to their practicum?
Exactly. And I think it's very important for you to be confident, especially in a professional field, because I think when it comes to practicum, right, the real goal shouldn't just be about going out there and get some real life experience. I think that is, we're done with that already. Practicum is an opportunity for you to impress your future employers. And for you to be able to do that, you have to be ready before the practicum. And that is what SEGI is doing differently. We get you ready before your practicum, so that when you go out into your practicum, you do well, you succeed, you impress your future employers, and then you get a job. Right? It's not, when it comes to your practicum already, then you go out, try to pick up the skills. It's too late.
Yes. As an educator, right, when I asked feedback from my students after they completed this activity, they were very happy. They were very happy. They said, "Wow, miss, this is amazing, to be able to be there and to interact with the children and to see special needs children with disabilities, learning disabilities and developmental disabilities in front of their own eyes, and to be given that space to observe and to be with them changes their perspective about psychology." That is very important.
Yeah, and it builds onto the passion that they have.
Yes. And from here, two things can happen. One, you can see whether you're truly interested in child psychology or not, because some of them, they want to pursue their career in child psychology as a field, right? If it suits you, you think you can withstand the environment and all that, this is a stepping stone for you to see whether you can be in the field or not.
Exactly. And I think in a degree in psychology, it's also an opportunity for you to explore different fields of psychology, see what you want, and then, when you pursue your master's, you know which direction to go.
Exactly. So another thing that I like to add on here is, in most universities, if you see their course structure, it's either too science-based or it's very business-based, and it's very organizational-based. What we have done with SEGI's course structure is we try to keep it with a good balance. We have the clinical, the criminology, the cyber psychology. We have industrial, organizational courses. We also kept it with, we also maintain some of the traditional subjects like cognitive, social psychology. So it's very balanced. What we want from here is students to learn psychology, equip themselves with the right knowledge, and to know which direction to take upon graduation. So they're not limited to clinical psychology. They're not limited to only educational psychology. We're giving them a broad option that they can choose from. I think that is important, because people change their mind and their career path easily, right?
And people must have the opportunity to try.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to making a decision to your future career direction.
Exactly.
Right? Thank you for sharing that. Let's move on now and talk about traits of a successful psychologist. What do you think the traits are, to be successful as a psychologist, and how is SEGI grooming our future psychologists to be successful?
Okay, so this is actually a very, very difficult question. It's very subjective.
Yeah.
It's very hypothetical at the same time. Okay, what I would tell my students, how do you prepare yourself? What you need as a psychologist? One, the attitude with knowing that you will be learning lifelong. There is no stop to learning. Like, if you think that you just want to do a diploma or a degree, you want to stop, and you want to do something else with your life, that's okay. But in psychology, if you really want to be successful, subscribe to the lifelong learning. That is one thing, right? Even for those who have attained PhD, they're still learning. It's
an evolving field.
Yes. Right? So there's always something new. We are trying to keep up with the trend, and time is evolving. Social media is taking over our lives and all that. So a lot of things will change in time, right? Things will never be the same 5 years from now. So the lifelong learning is truly what sets you apart from other people. Other than that is personal qualities, like, I cannot emphasize enough on managing your own mental health. right? You can't help other people when your mental health is at stake,
Exactly.
right? And also to be able to understand and advocate mental health wherever you are. Don't just do it for the sake of learning, practice it. Practice psychology in daily life, right? It's a field that you learn and you have to apply. Psychology is nothing without application. It's just theories.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Apply on daily life, apply it in your family, apply it with your children, apply the principles with your
And
own
we
self.
emphasize on application because it's a
Yes.
very practical program.
Yes. So that's what I think is important. Other than that is the networking skills. Build relationship with people and always be open to collaborate and have that interest to talk to people and to get to know them, and also have this entrepreneur mindset, how you can expand your business. And if you're a clinical psychologist, you should want to think about how to have a good clientele that keeps coming back and referring people to you and all that. So the networking skills, if you see it just as a discipline, it's just a discipline. If you see it as a business, as an organization, it grows and grows. The potential is endless.
Yeah, and I think this is sort of like a blind spot for many psychology students who are pursuing psychology. They see it as a subject, they don't see it as a business. But when you go out into the world of psychology, when you practice psychology, then you will realize that your clients generally come from referrals, right? Not only people refer clients to you, you refer clients to other people as well. And I think that is what is missing in a lot of psychology program, that awareness that, hey, being a psychologist means you must be able to expand your network. You must be able to get to know more people, and that is how you grow as a psychologist. Yeah. So to sum up all this, right? How does SEGI train our student to be lifelong learners? How do we train them to have a passion, in psychology? How do we train them on networking skills and things like that?
Okay. The most important thing that we have been doing is we have really good academic curriculum advisors that's overseeing our program. That is one thing. Another thing is we have industrial experts that is working really closely with us. So we are in partnership with industrial experts like I can't name anybody here because of data protection. And we have clinical psychologists who own the centers and they're working with us. They're taking our students as interns, and our students can work with them to see how they can one day be an established clinical psychologist. And this is how we are keeping things very relevant for the students, because we're opening doors for them to see how can you be like these people, successful people, someday, by getting them closer to the industrial people. So we're very hands-on. We are also very closely connected to government bodies and also industrial experts to always oversee our program and guide our students.
Right. Thank you for sharing. And to our students, if you are interested in psychology, feel free to drop by SEGI University and colleges, any one of our centers. And if you want to speak to Miss Priscilla, drop a comment below and say, hey, can I speak to Miss Priscilla about my studies? Let's come together and plan my next step. So I think to sum up from what Miss Priscilla has said, when it comes to psychology, there are a few very important points. Number one, as she has said earlier, is the engagement with the industry is very important, right? When you visit a university or a college, ask them how closely are you working with the industry. And in SEGI, we take industry engagement very seriously. We do what we can to bring industry into the classroom. That is what we do very well. Secondly, is to when you look at a psychology program, ask them how do they teach you research skills. And research here is not just about going online, finding a few journals, being able to critically analyze the journal and things like that. It's about application. It's about how you can take what you have learned and put it into practice. And this is what SEGI is doing differently as well. And I think lastly is the whole idea of subscribing to lifelong learning, because psychology is an ever evolving field. It's a growing field in Malaysia as well. And if you want to get into psychology, that mindset of lifelong learning is very important. And that is what SEGI is doing very, very differently. And that is what SEGI is emphasizing on as well. So thank you, Miss Priscilla, for joining us in this session. And to all of our students, remember to keep in touch if you need help in choosing, in planning your next step after SPM, after school. feel free to reach out to us. And this is what Chat with Segi series is all about. Also, is to help you plan your next step. And with that, thank you once again, Miss Priscilla, for joining us.
You're welcome.
And to all of our viewers, thank you for joining us today. This will be our last session for our Chat with Segi series today. Thank you, and we will see you tomorrow for a few more sessions. Thank you, and goodbye.
High school's over. We bet you're pretty excited about your future. You've heard so much about uni life, you can't wait, but at the same time, you're anxious. Meeting new people, living away from family, tough assignments and presentation, it might seem overwhelming. Or is it? At Segi, you'll get to live, learn and enjoy the best time of your life. Experiment, break rules and go beyond the status quo, all while learning under some of the biggest brands and brightest minds in the industry. Make new friends, visit places, gain new perspectives and expand your horizon. Attend concerts, present in conferences, compete in competitions, hey, better still, organize them. You'll learn with the latest technologies, read in a library that never sleeps, learn to synergize through esports and many more. You see, your university experience shouldn't only be about textbooks and assignments. It's about being future-proof while having the best time of your life. Are you ready? Because we are.